guys, this is AJ here and welcome back to AJ Automation. So guys, let us continue our discussion on Locator's concept in Selenium WebDriver. So we are learning how you can find a web element on a web page using different locating strategies available in the Selenium WebDriver. So in part 1 we have seen some theoretical part and the basic syntax, how to use these locators. So this is part number 2 and we are going to see in detail practically how you can use these locators to locate a web element. So let's get started with our part 2. So as per part 1 we have seen that we need to use these functions to locate an web element, and we need to pass any one of these 8 locators as an argument to this function. So let us see through the practical. Let me open my Eclipse. Let's create a Java class quickly. The package is a practical example on locators, right? It should be finish. So let us quickly create one test method, public void let's say locators in Selenium. So this is our method, and just import this from testng. So quickly just set up our Chrome driver with the help of WebDriver Manager dot watch my video on WebDriver Manager if you don't know how to what is WebDriver Manager and how it is useful. So let's create WebDriver reference equal to new Chrome driver. Let's import it quickly from view and from WebDriver. Now what we'll have to do is driver.get, we have to open Facebook, right? Facebook.com, and after we reach to the Facebook, what we have to do is let us see same scenario as per the part 1. We are going to enter some data in these 2 fields, and then we will click on login button. As of now we will see how to automate and how to find this all these fields. So let us see. So first is ID. So ID, let's say I would say ideally it should be unique. That is ideal, but it can happen that one ID is associated with multiple web element. Right? So for Facebook, let us see how you can use the ID. Let us inspect this. So we have this ID here. We have to use this value of the ID attribute. So if you remember how to write driver.findElement, this is the function, and in argument you have to write by dot. So once you click dot, it will give the list of locators. So all the 8 locators will be available in the list. So just select ID as of now, and we need to provide value of id attribute. Okay, so for this field, okay, for this text box, value is email, right? Let's go and copy this. Okay, so once you find that text field, we need to enter some data, right? So we need to call send keys method, and as a string provide whatever data you want to enter. Let's say xyz. Okay, similarly let us find another field, okay, password. So just inspect it. Yes, so can use what is the id, we have this value, so just write by dot id, okay, and in argument just pass this value. Okay, so this will find the password field, and after finding it, use send keys method to enter some text. So let us say 1234 is my password. Okay, so let us run this and let's see if it is working or not, if our script is able to find these two elements. Okay, so this is the email field and this is password. Okay, it says open Chrome browser and facebook.com. okay, you see that it has entered xyz in email and password 1234. So this is we are not able to see, but let us see our script that has passed. Okay, no failures. Okay, so we are successfully able to find that elements with the help of id locator. Okay, so in case of id it should be unique, but you can have multiple web element with the same id. Okay, this is the learning. We are going to write some notes while we are looking the practical examples, so that will be beneficial for you in the interviews as well. Okay, so for id, if it is okay, if it is multiple, means if multiple web elements are there with same id, okay, or if field has no id attribute. Okay, so what you will do in these two cases, so you need to go with other locating strategies. So you can go with the Xpath, or you can go with the css selector. Okay, you can use the class name if there is a field which do not have id, but if it has class name or name or tag name, okay, then you can use these two. Okay, but if that field do not have any one of them, like it do not have the id, it do not have the class name, and it do not have the name as well, so you need to go with the css Xpath. Okay, so this is the learning. Go with. Okay, so let us see how you can use the class name locator. Okay, so for the same field, okay, I will just comment it out. Everything will be same. Okay, so driver dot find element. Okay, only this argument will change. Driver dot find element by dot class name. Okay, you can see here. So select that and send class name value. Okay, so let us inspect. Okay, okay, so this has class name, but there is a very important learning from this. Okay, so let us run this script first and then I will tell you. Similarly, this. Okay, so you can see both these fields have same class name. Okay, so you cannot use when there are multiple web element with the same attribute value, then you can use, but in Selenium, the Selenium WebDriver start from the leftmost side. Okay, okay, it starts scanning from the leftmost side from HTML tag, then head. Okay, so once it find a first element, it will use that. Okay, so now we know that email field and password field both have same class value. Okay, but what Selenium will do, it will go and enter data in email, it will not enter data in password. Okay, because email field is to the left side. Okay, to the left side, and password is to the right side. Okay, so as I said, Selenium starts scanning from the left side. Okay, so once it find that web element, it will not go scanning to the next. Okay, it will perform the action on that web element itself. Okay, so let us see this example. Okay, so this is same. Okay, so we will learn two things from this. Let me run this first. Okay, so it did not enter anything. Okay, it did not enter in email or not in password. So why? So we can check. It will give you no such element exception. And why it gives? Because if you see, the class name value has some space. Okay, okay, and Selenium WebDriver will not accept this. Okay, if you are passing a class name value with having some space, so it will not be able to locate that web element. Okay, so you need to make sure while using the class name, that value should not have any space. Okay, so this is the learning for the class name. What is it? Class name value must not contain space. Okay, it should not contain the space. Okay, so WebDriver will not be able to handle this. Okay, it should not contain space. And one more learning what we learn is Selenium starts scanning in HTML DOM. Okay, from left side. Okay, and it will return first web element. Okay, so while scanning, if it finds an web element, so even though there are multiple web element with the same attribute value, so it will use the leftmost or first web element what it finds. Okay, at the first place. Okay, so let us see this example as well. So let me first, just for your reference, okay, so for example like this. Okay, so this class name value is not allowed in Selenium. Okay, So let's start. Okay, let's see in scenario for this learning. Okay, but to see this as example, we need to wait for we get up to the Xpath or css selector. Okay, so that we will be able to replicate that. Okay, so I will come back to it later. Okay, when we complete Xpath and css. Okay, so let's see the next how we can use the name. We will comment on this as well and this as well. Okay, so driver dot find element, by dot you will find name here. Okay, this, select that and see if these fields have name attribute or not. Okay, it has name attribute. Okay, both the fields have name, email and password. Okay, so let us send email. Okay, after finding that email field, enter this text using send keys method. Test1. Okay, and similar for password. Driver.findElement by name, the value is PAWS, right? For password, name attribute value is pass. Okay, so quickly let us save this and run this. Okay, you see that it has entered data in both the fields, test1 and this, or test case pass. Okay, so very easy to use these locators. Okay, so next is tag name. So tag name we hardly use because with the same tag name there will be n number of elements. Okay, so let us, for example, with the input, let us see how many if you want to see if you are going to find a web element in the console on the element tab after inspect, so you just have to press Ctrl F. Okay, after inspect, and you can use here input. Okay, so this is like a search, and here it will provide the result, like how many web element are there or how many elements are there with this input. Okay, so as you can see there are 61, right? Okay, so how to use this tag name, like when we have to use, like the basic scenario is when we want to verify how many links are there on web page. Okay, so if you want to validate how many links are there on this web page, then you simply just have to type anchor tag, right? So it will give there are 726 links on this web page. You see, with the anchor tag there are total see how to use the slash as well. Sorry, I forgot it. So if you want to check how many web element with that tag name, just give double slash and then a. Okay, so there are total 61 links on this web page. Okay, so so for tag name, I have given this example, only keep in mind that if you want to validate the links, then use the tag name. Okay, this hardly used in our Selenium script. Okay, so let us see linkText and partialLinkText. So linkText means the text associated with a link. So just now we have seen that there are 61 links. So forgot account is the link, and this is also a link. Okay, so let us see the example. Let's say you have to come and click on this forgot account link. Okay, so this is the text. So how you can use it? driver.findElement by dot linkText. Okay, select that and provide this text value. Okay, once you find it, click on that link. Means we need to use click method. Okay, so let us see if it is running or not. Okay, you see that it clicked on this link. Okay, that's why it come to this web page. So our test case has passed. So this is how you can use the link text. Okay, so quickly we will see how you can use partial link text by dot partial link text and give some partial value. Okay, so you can give anything. Let's give this. Okay, dot click. Okay, so this time as well it should click on that forgot account link. Let us comment it out. Okay, it's working. You see, even though we given the partial value of the link text, still it is able to find the web element because we have used this partial link text method. Okay, this is the all these are the static methods from the by class. Okay, so that's why we are able to call using the class name. Okay, so next is Xpath and CSS. These are very important, these two. So in part 1 you have seen the syntax for creating the Xpath. What it is: / tagName bracket @ attribute is equal to single quote value. Okay, it's attribute value. So let us try to do the same scenario using Xpath and CSS. Okay, so it's up to you what attribute you need to use. So we have used all these. Okay, so for Xpath we have seen for class name we are not able to use this as it has some space in between. So let us see if we can create Xpath and if it is working with the Xpath. Okay, that will be good learning for you as well. driver.findElement by .xpath and Xpath expression you need to provide here. So what will be the Xpath expression? Okay, so here let me check. Tag name is input. Okay, need to provide / tag name square bracket @ what is the attribute? Class is equal to, and what is its value? Is okay, so we are giving the value as it is. Okay, it has some space, but let's check if it is working or not. This time we are using Xpath. Okay, dot send keys, enter some domain data. Okay, so let us run this. Do you see that? With the help with Xpath Locator, we are able to find that email field, and we are able to use the class attribute even though the value of class attribute having some space. Okay, so this is also a good learning. Like here we have seen that you cannot use the class name which have the space in between. So just go with Xpath. Okay, similarly, okay, so for the same field you can create Xpath in different ways also. You can use this type attribute also. Okay, it's not mandatory that you can use this class or name or id only. You can use any one of them. Okay, you just need attribute, tag name, and its value. So okay, so for example, let's try for this password field this time. So type is equal to password. Okay, so type is the attribute. Okay, so what will be the Xpath expression? Input at the rate type is attribute is equal to and its value. Okay, so let us use this. It is working or not. Driver.findElement by .xpath. Okay, dot send keys. Okay, some text. Okay, so let us run this. Okay, you see that it has entered some text in password field. Means this Xpath expression is also correct, and we are able to find that web element. Okay, so similarly let us see for css selector. Okay, so as I already told in part 1, there is only small difference. So if you want to use the same, it is similar, just you don't have to use this slash and at the rate. Okay, and that's it. It will create your css selector. Okay, so for example, let us use same. Okay, so what will be the for this? Just remove the slash and at the rate. Okay, let us go and find with the help of css selector this time. driver.findElement by css selector. Okay, and just brought this value. Okay, dot send keys some value. Okay, so let us run. So it will enter this text in email field, right? Let us see. Okay, you see that it's working. So very simple. If you know how to create Xpath, then css you can create easily. Okay, so we have seen practical example on each and every locator. So only we need to we are going to cover some thing. Okay, this scenario, right? So what if we create an Xpath, it will if it is highlighting two web element. Okay, so that time it will select the leftmost. Okay, the very first web element. So we need an attribute for the fields which have same attributes and value. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, class is same. Okay, so what is the Xpath just we have created is this. Okay, so email field also have same Xpath, and this password field also have same Xpath if you use this class attribute. Okay, so okay, I was just going to tell you, if you want to verify your Xpath expression is correct or not. Okay, so you just have to write press Ctrl F. Okay, so in this field you can verify your Xpath is correct or not. So for example, for this field, you can create the Xpath input. Okay, and if Xpath is correct, it will highlight. Okay, if there are multiple web element with the same Xpath, it will highlight both of them. So as you can see, this Xpath is correct, but it is giving two web elements. Okay, because okay, see, email and password, these two fields, whatever Xpath we have created, okay, this is applicable to both the fields, right? So let us see what in this condition what Selenium selects. Okay, we are trying to send enter data in both the fields. Let us see if it enters in email or password. Okay, driver.findElement by.xpath dot send keys 12. Okay, so let us see where it will enter the 12, if it enters in email or it enters in password. Okay, so this is the same Xpath. So Selenium will see, okay, there are two web element, but while scanning from the leftmost side, okay, it will start scanning from the left and top, and while scanning it will come to this and this node and this node. So node by node it will come, and here it will find this field. Okay, so it will perform whatever action you are given through the script on that field only. Okay, and it will not go to the next field. Okay, it will not go to the password. Okay, so let us see, let us run this. Okay, do you see that it enters 12 in email and not in password, even though the Xpath for both the fields is same. So as email field is to the left side, okay, and it is the first that Selenium web found, then it enters 12 in that field only. So this is also a good learning for you. Okay, so this I have already given. It will start scanning from the left side, it is on the very first web element. Okay, so I hope you have understood how you can use, quite easy, these locators. Just use the by and then select from the list of option. Okay, and just provide the attributes. Okay, so for this id, class name, name, okay, when you can use id, class name and name, so you can use when a web element has these attributes. Element has these attributes associated. Okay, so if web element do not have the id, then you won't be able to find it with the id. Okay, that's what I mean. So this is the only thing. Okay, So also one more thing, that how you can verify your Xpath or CSS is correct or not. Okay, just inspect it, then come to this elements tab and press Ctrl F and write your Xpath here. If it is correct, it will highlight, otherwise it will give 0 here. Okay, so you come, okay, so this Xpath was correct, that's why it is highlighting to a element. Same for the CSS also you can use, just remove this double slash and at the rate. Okay, you see, so both you can verify from this Ctrl F in Chrome. And, it is very handy, like here only you will able to find that okay, how many web element are there, so accordingly you need to find the web element. Okay, okay, so all these are used. Okay, we use the driver.findElement. Okay, so let us quickly use how you can use the driver.findElements. Okay, it's very similar to this driver.findElements. Okay, this. Okay, so this function will return a list of web element, right? So as we can see that let us create an Xpath, okay, to find the text of this field. Okay, and we will create a Xpath such that it will highlight both this field. So okay, you can see that these two in this email. Okay, I think this, okay, password, and why it is, let me remove this, is confusing. So for is equal to label, we need some, okay, for this drop down we can use driver.findElements. Okay, because all these options in the drop down have, okay, it will have a same Xpath. Okay, so I have I have separate value, separate video in my playlist how to select and drop down a value from the drop down. These are the static values. So let us just show you, for example, how you can use the driver.findElements. So let us create an Xpath so that it will highlight all these. How many are there? It's 12 plus month 0. So let us use this attribute. Okay, so it has select tag, okay, and id is equal to month, so this we will use. Select tag and id is month, right? Be careful while writing this, otherwise. Okay, so this is correct Xpath, it has given one element. Okay, and next is, after finding this we need to can write option. Okay, so next element is option, so next tag is option. So this is how you can create your own Xpath. So we are going to see this in detail, how you can create your own customized Xpath in separate video. So just I want to show you the example for driver.findElements. Okay, so this Xpath is representing multiple web element, right? Okay, so let us see if we can use it and what we will get in a list. Okay, so as we are using the driver.findElements, this will return, okay, a list of web element, oh sorry, by dot Xpath, right? And here you need to provide the expression, right? And you can see we need to store that in list variable, right? And what will be the list? List is a list of web element. Okay, so just import it from the current package. Okay, this is the correct package, java.util. Okay, so this driver.findElement, okay, we have given this Xpath expression which is representing multiple web element. So this function will return a list of web element, and that will be stored in this list reference. Okay, and how many web element it will store? It will store 0 to 12, means 13. So just for verification we can print how many web element are there in the list. So if you are aware about the list, it's from the collection interface. So if you want to know how many elements are there in the list, there is one method, list size. Okay, so this will give us how many elements are there in the list. Okay, how many web element are stored. So let us quickly run this. Okay, just for example how you can use the driver.findElements. So okay, so as you can see there are 13. That means this XPath is representing 13 web element, and as we have used driver.findElements, okay, it has given the list and it is stored in the list variable, and we have printed it using size method in the list. Okay, so I think we have gone through all the basic, okay, with the help of driver.findElement, how you can use id, then class name, tag name, and all the learnings. Okay, while we are I will write it in the description as well. Okay, so this is quite beneficial if interviewer ask you what if there are multiple web element with the same id. So you can say that if it is the case, then we will go with the Xpath and css selector. Okay, or we will check if it has class name or name present. If both of them are not there, then you will go with the Xpath selector. Okay, and also for the class name, interviewer will find a question on this, like if class name contains the space, how you can handle it, or will you be able to find that web element using class name locator. So you just have to say no, you are not able, you will not be able to find that web element. Okay, so we need to go with Xpath or css. Okay, so I have covered most of the thing, and this Xpath and css are very important. So in next video we are going to see about what are the different types of Xpath, and different methods are available there to locate. You can create your own customized Xpath. Okay, and we are going to see that in detail. Okay guys, if you like knowledge and content of this channel, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video with your friends. Okay, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will get notification as soon as I upload a new video. Okay, so thanks for watching. See you in the next.